And so I'm curious, like for me, when I got in there to Evergreen, I had the assumptions
Mhm.
that because I'm a words guy, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna meet some youth, I'm going to love
Give them
them.
some words.
I'm gonna love them. I'm gonna show them I understand. I'm going to
Yeah.
re-articulate, some of the thoughts that they have and regurgitate it, and they're gonna be like, "Wow, like this, like I didn't realize that someone could understand me so well." And bam,
Yeah.
I would do that, and my empathy would come through, and then lives would be changed. Lives would be changed, and like,
Yeah.
you know, bam, they're on their way. And I'm not sure about you, but that quickly faded from the reality. And I'm wondering whether you bumped up against like some similar misinformed assumptions while you were trying to connect in the
Mm,
front lines. And I'm like, what point did you recognize like it was or it wasn't working in what you were doing?
mm. Woo, so good. So good, man. Um, yeah, I definitely, I think, came into that space with that a similar kind of perspective. Um, I was relatively fresh, maybe like a year and a half out of completing my bachelor's of social work. Um, I'd done some internships in some pretty like rough, whatever that means, contexts, working with folks who were street involved in Toronto. And of course, I had my trusty faith in Jesus that says, yeah, like I'm carrying with me the Holy Spirit. I'm carrying with me like the presence of Jesus, and I'm gonna encounter these people who need that from
Yes.
me, and I'm
Yes.
just gonna like help them feel loved.
Yeah, because they don't
And
have it.
they
I
don't
have
have
it.
it.
They
Yeah,
don't
I
have it. I'm
got
gonna bring it to them. Yeah.
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 I'm bringing the Jesusness with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I laugh now. We laugh now, but like
Yeah. Yeah. Me too.
this was unconscious to me at that time.
Mhm.
It was just part of my assumption that like I am good Christian boy, and I'm coming to to share the love of Jesus and to use these skills that I just learned in school for unpacking concepts about like oppression and identity and challenging the system and helping people to feel love. So I brought that in as well as some practical knowledge around helping somebody make their first resume and
Mhm.
practice for an interview and yeah, just engage what doubts or fears they might have about trying to get maybe their first job or how they were coping through poverty. All these were part of the conversations, part of the interactions. And yeah, I still am proud of the work that I brought forth to be able to offer people. But I'm just thinking back on some situations that really shook shook me at that time in that season, which was building like a great relationship with somebody who is struggling, who is maybe living in a shelter system, who doesn't have any family or personal supports in their lives, and they come week after week for our sessions, and maybe they get a job, and maybe things are going well, um, but a bad day for them doesn't look like a bad day
Mm.
in my world.
Mm.
A bad day for them looks like um, a close friend just overdosed and died. I'm not going into work, and if I do, you're gonna force me to go to work. Okay, all right, well, I'm gonna yell at my boss
Yeah.
because he doesn't understand me telling me what to do. Like, I'm
Yeah.
pissed.
Yeah.
So now we're getting we're receiving stories about um like youth who are having fistfights with coworkers, or just not going because they're not going. And that's not something that makes sense in my world growing up in a suburban area. Um, and so, yeah, I remember situations where like a youth who would come to me for this kind of support on a regular basis said, "Hey, I need to go and like visit somebody, and I need a TTC token to get out there to visit this friend." I was like, "Bro, we only give these out for interviews and for going to work." I'm using my employment counselor voice, I guess.
Voice. Yeah.
Um,
It's kind of annoying that voice.
yeah, it is. Yeah. And he wasn't having it
Yeah.
because in his world, like, what the hell are you talking about? I need to go where I'm going. Like, this is a serious situation. And so he pulled out a lighter in a can of Axe body spray, which we don't see as much of anymore, and said, I'm literally gonna start a fire in the office right now if you don't give me this token. Like, but what happened to all these weeks of our connection and our
Yeah.
safety building and the skills that I taught you? Like, what? We talked about conflict management, but his world is different.
Yeah.
Um, the ways that he processes threat and safety are different.
Hmm.
His trauma,
Hmm.
his life experience, the things he has learned consciously and subconsciously for how to survive, for how to get
Hmm.
his needs met, are just so different from the world that I exist in.
Wow.
Um, so what am I gonna do with that situation? Like, no, you can't have the token because that's the rule. No,
Solomon
like,
Yoon said that I cannot give you this token.
shout out to Solomon, greatest greatest supervisor. Um, yeah, so there are
Hmm.
moments like that where it all just blows back into your face. Like, okay, you have your training, you have your expectations for how people will respond to the work that you do with them.
Yeah.
But even if they're threatening you or people around you, like, yes, Evergreen actually had one of the greatest policies I've ever seen around addressing threats of harm or actual harm, valuing people as a member of that community, but saying you can't do this.
Oh.
Here's what's going to happen. Like, we're going to have to bar you for a week, or however long it is. And we're going to have a conversation when you come back because we value you. We love you. You are a whole person. So, yes, we take those measures, but we do it with compassion.
Mhm.
Um, we do it in a way where we have to let go of our expectations for how things should be, how people should be, and meet them where they're at.
I'm curious what you think is behind that, like to probe deeper, because yeah, part of me feels at first, I'm like, yeah, in that situation, I'm like, can't you just compartmentalize? Like, there's pain here, I get it.
Mhm.
And then, the privileged side of me is like, yeah, just be rational about this. Let's engage your workplace in a professional way and your personal life and whatever. Do whatever you want there. But here is where can't you just know that once you step in that door, this is going to happen? Right
Mhm.
away, that's what comes to mind at first, which is, after learning a long time, that doesn't work like that. And so
Mhm.
part of me thinks it has to do with like the ability to compartmentalize, right? Can't we all just do that? And that assumption has led me to like give solutions in those moments that really
Mhm.
don't make sense because they just intertwine. I mean, you articulated already somewhat, but like, what is behind that? Like, how decisions are made in that, in your opinion, based on like how you've engaged?
Yeah. Great question. First off, I think it's absolutely vital for us to have a lens on ourselves and on people that we encounter anywhere in life.
Mm,
Every behavior, every single behavior has a function. People don't just choose to act out and get loud or yell
yeah.
or use substances or shut down or isolate. People don't just do these things for no reason. I have a client who brilliantly said one time, like, yeah, like, it's not like I get upset and then I do 12 cartwheels. I don't just do a random thing, like, for no reason. Like, we act out in ways that get our needs met,
Mm,
whether or not it's the most helpful route to getting
yeah.
that need met, whether or not this is on a conscious or subconscious level. Somebody pulling out a weapon and saying, I'm going to threaten you right now to set this place on fire, or I'm going to hit you right now, or I'm just going to yell and get big and loud. There's a function for that. It's
Yeah.
serving a purpose.
Mm,
That person's nervous system has learned when we're in a moment of heat, when we're in a moment of feeling threatened or unsafe, this is this is what we can do to get heard, right? This is why I'm going to get loud. This is why I'm going to use my body to take control because maybe I feel powerless.
hmm.
I feel like I'm being made small, so I'm going to get big.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm experiencing shame, so I want to push that away and I want to feel like a whole person again. I want to fight
Hmm.
whatever is bringing that shame feeling up in me or whoever is triggering that feeling for me.
Mm,
Yeah. So I think when we better understand the function of human emotion and the unmet needs that those emotions signal for us, we can better understand why people behave the ways that they do. Because so frequently we focus on changing the behavior. Stop doing that. Why are you doing
Yes.
that? Don't do that.
Mm.
That's such a stupid thing to do. Why wouldn't you just? That's not logical.
Hmm.
Of course it's not.
Yeah,
Because we're not simply logical beings. Like,
that's right.
yeah, I believe that God has put emotion into the fabric of human being for a reason,
Mm.
to be like an alert system to let us know what we need when we're being violated, when we're unsafe.
Mm.
And this is the this is what trauma does, right? When we experience something that's completely overwhelming, it overwhelms our system, our emotions, our nervous system. We don't know how to make sense of it. Throw logic out the window.
Yeah.
Come on. Um, when a young person experiences abuse, or witnesses something that they just don't know how to make sense of. It
Hmm.
can be these big events in life, or it can just be ongoing feelings in our body of not being safe. Um, yeah, we're going to develop kind of automatic behaviors that, I know I'm going real deep here. I hope folks are
No,
tracking,
go for
but
it,
we're
man.
going to develop automatic behaviors that our body registers as, okay, here's what we can do to get a need met. We can soothe our heightened distress state by just drinking, by just numbing out the system,
Hmm.
because these alarms are going off and it's too much. Or we can fight, we can yell, we can take what we need, because our system has learned nobody's going to respond with kindness or anything like that. We're going to
Yeah,
get a need met.
trial and error, like trial and error has shown this.
Yeah.
I'm not
Mm-hmm.
heard, so let
Mm-hmm.
me make you hear me. And
Yeah.
and I and we do this. Everyone does this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everyone does this. They respond to it, and whether it comes out and conveyed in a very, logical way or rational way or an irrational way, we're always not manipulating, but trying to marshal these things that are erupting. And
Mm-hmm.
some people have power and they use that power and say, like I did at Evergreen, says, well, you got to step out now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I have the keys to this place and you
Mm-hmm.
don't. So I can execute my power rationally and easy because I'm in a place of
Mm-hmm.
privilege.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a place of privilege, you have to lean on other things. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
because we live in a society that kind of honors this, like, respect to space and all that kind of stuff. But if we go
Yeah.
back in the day, Jesse's dead because Jesse can't
Yeah.
protect. I can't protect myself, using raw whatever. Like I
Yeah.
can't talk my way out of it back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So